Good morning. It is Tuesday, right around 3:30 a.m. We're up in New Hampshire today. We're going to be doing something called the Presidential Traverse, just through the White Mountains. We've got 7 peaks that are named after presidents, hence the name Presidential Traverse. We link all those up. You get up on a ridge line and kind of sync them all together. It should be somewhere around 20-ish miles, 9,000 feet of climbing, and it should be a good day. It looks like weather's going to hold out for us, but TBD, that's always subject to change. Only if you were in top physical condition. Good thing you're in top physical condition. Both in the prime of our physical conditions.
Question marks above my head.
About 3.5 miles in, we've climbed like over 4,000 feet already. And it has been slow going for a few different reasons. First of which, the trail is hardly a trail. Second, I'm coming off a 3-day fitness competition. So I'm kind of feeling like shit right now, if I'm being honest. And then number 3, I've been having to stop like every 10 steps to wipe spider webs off my face. I think that I've destroyed every spider web in the White Mountains in like a 3-mile radius. They've been getting me, and it's really been a frustrating experience, but we're almost above tree line, as you can see right here. So hopefully that means no more spider webs. Just the worst weather in America. Cool. Okay, first of 7 summits today. Just reached the top of Mount Madison, and it is super pretty. The sun's finally starting to creep through, and so now we'll go back down the way we came. This is the one spot where we kind of backtrack for the day. So we'll go back down the way we came, back past the Madison Hut, and then on to our next peak of the day. And I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't know, because I don't remember. So we'll figure that out as we get closer. So we're going to be heading back down that way, up to this peak over here. I'm going to follow the ridge line over, and then I believe that's Mount Washington right there. And then we follow it on down, if I were a guessing man. Here we are, top of Mount Adams. Let's go. This is a tough little climb. This actually today is just turning out to be tougher so far than I anticipated. We're moving a lot slower than anticipated. It's mostly because, like, especially on these summits, you're basically like scrambling most of it, which I didn't really anticipate. So makes it fun, but also makes it slow. So this is what I'm talking about. This is like a downhill kind of flat section, and it's still just like boulder hopping the entire time. So you're moving very slow. You're having to think about your steps and actually look where you're going. You can't just kind of zone out like you normally could on like a downhill or a flat. So I think it's safe to say our original time goal is absolutely gonna get busted. We're gonna beat that today in the wrong way. All right, so this big pile of rocks is Mount Jefferson. Up next, we've got Washington over there. Let's go. Little bonus summit action. We're on top of Mount Clay, so that's pretty cool. You can see a train over there, maybe heading up Mount Washington. How are you feeling so far?
Feeling good.
Are you really?
No.
Feeling is just a mindset, though.
I like that. We have made it to the top of Mount Washington. Highest point of the day, and I believe the highest point in New Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere over 6,000 feet. Man, it was a slog getting up here from our last peak, and it felt like it was never gonna end. As you're probably seeing behind me, Mount Washington is a little different. Similar to like how Pikes Peak is in Colorado. You can actually drive up here. There's a road that comes all the way up. And you can also take a train. And I believe they've got like a little gift shop or building or something like that. Or at least I'm really hoping they do. Because I would kill somebody for like a regular full sugar Coke right now. So that's what I've got my eyes set on. I'm really hoping that Mount Washington comes through. Kyle has burned through all of his rations. So he's really banking on me being a good friend and not being really hungry, or the gift shop here having some food. We'll see how that transpires. I'm not really sure yet. Oh baby, good news. Coke. Across the way. Salt and vinegar. And Kyle has some weird shit. Not surprising though.
Functioning at about 50% right now.
Orange juice and salami. So 3 more peaks, 8-ish miles, about 1,000 feet of climbing, and then a bunch of descent. I don't know how much more we're coming down. I guess probably close to 6,000 feet. Getting closer. We're now standing on top of Mount Monroe. 5 down, 2 to go. We're heading that way. Got Eisenhower next, and then Pierce, I believe, is back there. And then we need to start. When we start our descent back down to the car. We both were in agreement that this was our favorite summit of the day. There's just something cool about the approach and the actual ascent and the way it looks from a distance. Mountain Road is ridiculous. Alright, another bonus peak. We got Mount Eisenhower. Pretty unimpressive if I say so myself, but what can you do? No offense, what is it?
It's Mount Franklin, isn't it?
No, what did I say, Eisenhower? Alright, so another bonus peak. We've got Mount Franklin. Rather unimpressive if you ask me, but it is what it is. Sorry, Ben. No offense. And here we are, the top of Eisenhower. 6 of the 7 are done. Last one will be Pierce. Man, I will say, there's like a pretty good view up here. Like a 360 of the range. Quite pretty. Got him. This is a bigger climb than I was expecting. Thought we were done with the climbing, but we just climbed quite a bit. So for our 7th and final summit of the day, here we are on top of the mighty Mount Pierce. Quite possibly the most underwhelming summit I've ever been on. We literally just walked right by it because we didn't realize this was the summit. So we had to backtrack and we figured out this is it.
If I was a mountain on the Presidential Traverse, I'd be Mount Pierre.
Pierre.
Pierce.
Pierre. So now we just make our way back down. Supposed to have a little bit under 3 miles. And the goal as of now is to make it back before we have to break the headlamps back out again. Okay, car to car, we are finished. When I say car to car, I think it's worth mentioning that we had 2 vehicles today. We parked 1 vehicle at the Appalachia Trailhead this morning. That's where we started. And then this car right here is at the AMC Transit Center, I believe. And so you're kind of starting into 2 different points. So you either have to have 2 vehicles, or if you want to hitchhike or get a shuttle or something like that, they have like those kinds of options too. But anyways, we are done for the day. 20.47 miles, 8,950 feet of climbing, 15 hours and 22 minutes. Much longer than originally anticipated. Overall, it was a great day though. The weather was perfect. We didn't have any issues there. I think, you know, the only thing worth mentioning is that, first of all, as a trail run, absolutely doable in a day, obviously. But then even as a hike, it's definitely doable in a day as well if you're a strong hiker. But I will say, hold on, cars coming by. But I will say, I would personally allot some extra time because you're probably going to be moving slower than what you think you can move, just because the terrain. Those were a couple people we met on the trail. We were kind of leapfrogging with them. They ended up beating us, which hurts my soul. But that's neither here nor there. But as I was saying, like I said, I think you should, if you're going to do it, a little extra time. Expect it to take a little bit longer than what you think it normally would, just because the terrain is so rocky and it's pretty technical for a lot of it. So just something to keep in mind if you decide you want to do the Presidential Traverse. That's all I got for y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.